The ship drifted silently through the black emptiness of space. Its metal frame, once gleaming under the sun of its last visited star, now reflected only the dim light of distant galaxies. Aurora, a human research vessel, floated without a sound, its engines cold, its systems dark. Inside, the crew was waking from cryo-sleep, slowly emerging from months of suspended animation. Captain Mira Elan opened her eyes to darkness. A faint hum tickled at the back of her mind, but the usual gentle vibrations of the ship were gone. Her brow furrowed. She looked around the cabin, noticing that none of the emergency lights had turned on. "System check," she whispered to herself, though her voice felt strange after the long sleep. She reached for the control panel, but the screen stayed black. Only the faint outline of the controls glowed under the emergency luminescence of the cryopods. "Captain, are you awake?" came a weak voice from the next pod. It was Lieutenant Kiran Saeed, the ship's engineer. His eyes blinked against the dim light as he struggled to orient himself. "I'm awake," Mira replied. "Looks like the ship isn't." The two of them moved slowly through the corridor, their feet making soft echoes in the empty hallways. Something about the silence felt unnatural. Space was always quiet, but ships rarely were. Even when dormant, Aurora had always hummed, a low, constant vibration of energy. This time, there was nothing. The crew gathered in the central hub. Dr. Leona Hayes, the ship's scientist, rubbed her eyes and checked the monitors. All of them were dark. Communication systems were down. Life support was functional, but running on backup power, and sensors showed no sign of nearby ships or planets. "Where are we?" Leona asked, her voice trembling slightly. Mira shook her head. "I don't know. This area isn't on any maps." She paused, letting the silence stretch. "But we need to stay calm. Panic won't fix anything." Kiran frowned. "We should check the engines and the AI core. If the ship lost control, we could be drifting for months, maybe years." "That's exactly why we need a plan," Mira said firmly. "We divide into teams. Kiran, you and I check the engines. Leona, you handle the sensors and communications. Everyone else, stay in the hub until we know it's safe." The crew nodded, their trust in Mira giving them courage, even in the strange emptiness. The engine room was colder than usual. Panels that normally glowed with information were dark, and wires lay exposed, as if the ship itself had gone to sleep. Kiran knelt beside a main console and opened a maintenance panel. Sparks flew briefly, startling both of them. "It's like the ship just stopped," Kiran muttered. "All systems offline. Even the AI isn't responding." Mira frowned, touching the console. "No power surges, no warning, nothing. It's almost like the ship decided to drift on its own." Kiran laughed nervously. "Ships don't decide, Captain. Machines follow orders or fail, but this is something else." They worked for hours, checking circuits, running diagnostics, and trying to understand the strange energy readings coming from the ship's core. Every now and then, the lights in the corridors flickered briefly, teasing them with life that didn't last. Meanwhile, in the hub, Leona stared at the sensor readings. Strange signals appeared intermittently, faint and irregular. They didn't match anything known to human technology. Some patterns looked almost deliberate. "Captain," Leona said when she finally reached Mira through the comms, "I'm seeing patterns in the signals. It's like someone or something is watching us." Mira's brow tightened. "Watching us? You mean sensors detecting nearby objects?" "No," Leona replied. "No physical objects. It's energy. Intelligent energy. Like the ship itself is aware." Mira frowned. "Energy can't be aware, Leona. That's science fiction." "Maybe it's more than that," Leona said quietly. "I don't know. But whatever it is, it's responding to us." Mira turned to Kiran. "Did you notice anything unusual in the engines?" Kiran shook his head. No. Except for, it's like the systems are waiting for us to fix them. They're offline but not broken. Someone, or something, is letting us interact. It's as if the ship is testing us. Mira's heart skipped. The thought was both terrifying and thrilling. Humans were explorers, problem solvers, creators. Could it be possible that the ship itself recognized that? Hours passed. The crew worked tirelessly, driven by fear but also by determination. Mira paced the corridors, checking on every team, her mind racing with possibilities. Then suddenly, it happened. The lights flickered on. Not all at once, but section by section, as if someone were turning them on carefully. The hum of the engines returned, low at first, then steady. The monitors lit up, displaying readings that made no sense at first glance. And then they saw it. Shadows moving in the corridors. Not the crew's shadows, but strange shapes that darted just at the edge of vision, vanishing when anyone looked directly at them. "Everyone stay calm," Mira commanded. "No one moves alone. Keep the lights on." Kieran swallowed hard. I don't see anyone there, but I feel watched." Leona's voice trembled over the comms. "Captain, it's the ship. It's like it's alive. I can feel it responding to our movements, our choices. It's testing us." Mira clenched her fists. Fear roared inside her, but she pushed it down. Humans had always thrived in the impossible. From the first explorers who sailed across oceans to those who built machines to reach the stars, humans adapted, survived, and overcame. And now, floating in a cold and silent void, that same spark of human ingenuity was their only weapon. She took a deep breath. "Listen carefully. This ship, whatever is happening, it's giving us a chance. Maybe it crashed. Maybe it awoke. I don't know. But it's letting us interact. That means it expects something from us. And humans never give up." The crew nodded. Their fear mingled with determination. Every system they repaired, every anomaly they investigated, became another proof that humans could face the unknown and adapt. As the ship hummed back to life around them, they realized something extraordinary. They were not just passengers. They were participants in a test far greater than themselves. A test that no AI, no alien intelligence had anticipated. The unpredictable, creative, resilient mind of a human. Mira looked out of the observation window into the endless black. Stars twinkled like distant promises, and she felt a strange warmth in her chest. Whatever awaited them in this silent region of space, she knew one thing. Humans would not be passive. Humans would act. Humans would survive. Humans would thrive. The silence was ending. The journey was beginning. And the ship, for reasons they could not yet understand, had chosen them. The lights in the aurora flickered back to life slowly, one corridor at a time, casting long shadows on the walls. The hum of the engines, low and steady, filled the ship with a sense of cautious hope. Captain Mira Elan moved carefully through the corridors, her hand resting on the rail. Every corner they turned seemed to shimmer with movement, shadows that vanished the moment anyone looked directly at them. Lieutenant Kiran Saeed followed closely, his toolkit in hand, scanning every panel, every pipe, for anomalies. "It's like the ship is awake," he whispered, almost to himself. Mira shook her head, but a strange thought lingered. Could the ship be aware? It was impossible, or so it seemed. But the strange energy readings Leona had seen earlier suggested something beyond their understanding. They reached the main hub, where Dr. Leona Hayes was already monitoring the sensor array. The screens now showed faint, pulsing signals, patterns that were regular, almost deliberate. "Captain," Leona said, her eyes wide with wonder, "look at this. The ship isn't just functioning. It's communicating somehow." Mira leaned over the console, watching the signals pulse in response to the crew's movements. Communicating? But it has no language. How can a ship communicate? I don't know, Leona admitted. But it reacts to us. Every time we touch a panel, every time we move through a corridor, the signals shift. It's intelligent. Kieran ran his hand through his hair. So, we're interacting with a living ship? Not living, maybe, Mira said slowly, but something is learning from us, observing how we act, testing us. The thought sent a shiver through the crew, but it was not entirely unpleasant. Humans were explorers. They had survived countless challenges, from harsh planets to deep space anomalies, and now they faced something unknown, something that might push them beyond the limits of their experience. Mira took a deep breath. We keep working. We repair what we can, gather data and observe. We act, not just wait. That's what humans do. Hours passed in a tense rhythm of activity. Kieran and his team repaired critical systems, life support stabilizers, power conduits, and navigation arrays. Sparks flew from exposed circuits, and lights flickered intermittently, but every failure was met with immediate ingenuity. A loose wire became a bridge, a faulty sensor repurposed. The crew worked tirelessly, proving to themselves, if not to the ship, that they could solve impossible problems. Meanwhile, Leona focused on the sensor readings. The patterns in the signals grew more complex, forming sequences that seemed almost like questions. Occasionally, a sequence would repeat, then change slightly, as if adapting to the crew's responses. "Captain," Leona said, pointing at the display, "look at this. The ship, it's responding to our decisions. It's almost like it wants to see how we handle uncertainty." Mira nodded, feeling a mix of awe and determination. Humans are built for this. Adaptation, improvisation, that's our strength. Let's show the ship what we can do. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught their eyes. In the corner of the hub, shadows shifted unnaturally. The crew froze. The shapes seemed to stretch and shrink, then vanished completely. Kieran swallowed hard. "Captain, I think the ship is showing itself, or testing our reactions." "Maybe," Mira said. "Or maybe it's warning us. Either way, we stay calm and observe. Nothing panics humans faster than fear." As they continued working, strange occurrences became more frequent. Tools would move slightly from where they were placed. Panels would click, as if someone or something was checking them. Sensors would detect heat signatures that disappeared the moment they were scanned. Leona frowned. "It's almost like the ship has a mind of its own. It knows we're here, and it's curious." Mira considered the possibilities. Human ships were designed with advanced AI, but this went beyond programming. Then we interact carefully. We learn from it, but we don't assume it's hostile. Our strength isn't in fearing the unknown. It's in understanding it. By late evening, the engines were stable, and life support systems were fully restored. The ship hummed with quiet energy, almost as if it was content with the crew's progress. For the first time since waking, the crew allowed themselves a moment of relief. But that relief was short-lived. The sensor array detected an unknown object approaching the ship, a small vessel. Sleek and unlike any human craft, it moved deliberately, maintaining distance, almost as if it were observing the aurora. "Unknown vessel," Kieran said, voice tense. "No response to hails, no signs of weapons. It's watching." Mira's eyes narrowed. "We don't know if it's hostile. We proceed with caution. Keep all systems ready, but no sudden moves. Let's see what it wants." Leona analyzed the energy signature. "It's advanced, far beyond human design. But it's not attacking. It seems curious." Mira nodded slowly. "Then we treat it the way humans always have, with caution, but with intelligence and respect. This may be the first time another species has truly observed us, and we won't show fear, we show ingenuity." The ship itself seemed to respond. Lights along the corridors brightened subtly, systems hummed with renewed vigor, and the AI began assisting the crew in ways it hadn't before. Warnings became suggestions, automated repairs became prompts for human decision-making. "It's helping us," Kieran whispered. "The ship. It's on our side. Or at least, it wants to see what we do." Mira's jaw set. It's not about siding. It's about proving that humans can face the unknown and overcome it. We've always done that, from the first explorers on Earth to the scientists who built this ship. We adapt. We survive. We thrive. As night fell, though night in deep space was just a concept, the crew continued their work. They repaired systems, observed the strange energy patterns, and documented every anomaly. Every flicker of light, every movement in the shadows, was noted and analyzed. Then, a breakthrough. The ship emitted a series of pulses along the main hull, synchronized with the energy signals. Leona compared them to the previous patterns and gasped. "Captain, the ship. It's forming words, not in any human language, but concepts. Curiosity, observation, adaptation, recognition." Mira's heart raced. "It's acknowledging us. It knows we're human and it recognizes our potential." Kieran grinned. "All those late nights repairing ships, building robots, solving impossible problems, maybe it's paying off now." Mira smiled, though the weight of responsibility pressed on her. "This is just the beginning. The ship is testing us, yes, but perhaps not to destroy us. Maybe to learn, to see if humans are special." The shadows shifted again, this time lingering just long enough for the crew to feel a presence, not threatening, but alive. The ship, the unknown vessel outside, and the energy patterns all combined into a sense of purpose. Humans were being watched, but not attacked. They were being evaluated. Mira turned to her crew, her eyes bright with resolve. "We show them who we are. Humans don't give up. Humans adapt. Humans create, solve, and survive. And this ship, this strange silence, is just another challenge for us to face." For the first time since waking, the crew felt truly alive. The blackness of space was no longer just emptiness. It was a stage, and they were the performers. The unknown vessel was not a threat, but an audience. And the Aurora, slowly coming back to life, was both their stage and their partner. As they worked into the endless void, the ship seemed to pulse with quiet approval. The lights flickered brighter, corridors hummed with energy, and the sensors continued to reveal strange, deliberate signals. Mira stood at the observation deck, looking out at the unknown vessel and the endless stars beyond. "We are humans," she said softly. "We survive, we adapt, and we will face whatever comes together." And in the silent space around them, the ship hummed, the shadows danced, and the unknown vessel watched. The journey had only just begun. The unknown vessel drifted closer, its sleek frame reflecting faint starlight. Unlike human ships, it had no visible engines or weapons. Its surface shimmered subtly, as if it were made of liquid metal. Every sensor on the Aurora picked it up, but no communication signals were detected. Captain Mira Ilan stood at the observation deck, watching the alien vessel. Her crew gathered behind her, tense and curious. The air was thick with anticipation, a mix of fear and excitement. "We don't know if it's hostile," Mira said, keeping her voice steady. "But it's observing us. That much is clear." Lieutenant Kiran Saeed crossed his arms, scanning the readings. "It's advanced, far beyond anything humans have built. But it hasn't attacked. Not yet. Maybe it's, curious." Dr. Leona Hayes, analyzing the energy signals, nodded. "I agree. The patterns in the ship's signals are changing. They respond to our actions, and now they're reacting to the alien vessel as well. It's almost like the ship wants to teach us something, or Test us." Mira's gaze hardened. "Then we proceed carefully. We make the first move, but intelligently. Humans survive by acting, not hiding." The crew began preparations. Kieran worked on the scout pod, ensuring it could leave the Aurora safely. Leona monitored the sensors, trying to decode the energy signals from both the ship and the unknown vessel. "Captain," Leona said, pointing at the screen, "the signals are forming repeating patterns, almost like questions. Like the alien vessel is observing how we respond." Mira's mind raced. Humans had always faced challenges by analyzing, improvising, and adapting. Then we respond with action. We show them who we are, carefully but confidently. The scout pod, small and maneuverable, launched from the Aurora's bay. Its thrusters were silent, gliding toward the alien vessel. Inside, Kieran and Mira's chosen pilot, Ensign Rhina Solis, monitored every system. The alien vessel didn't react immediately. It drifted smoothly, almost floating, while subtle pulses of energy surrounded it. Sensors detected faint waves of information, patterns that seemed to change depending on the pod's movements. "Rhina, stay steady," Mira instructed over the comms. "Observe, but do not provoke. Remember, humans are clever, adaptive, and calm. That's our advantage." The pod drifted closer. A ripple of energy passed through the sensors, forming a pattern that resembled a greeting, or at least the closest thing to one the humans could interpret. Rhina's hands moved carefully, adjusting the pod's orientation to match the pulse. Leona watched the readings, fascinated. "It's responding. Our actions are influencing it. It's curious about us." Back on the Aurora, the crew worked as one. Engineers monitored systems, ensuring the ship remained stable. Scientists analyzed signals, searching for meaning. Every human on board knew that this encounter was unprecedented. No AI, no technology could replicate the creativity and intuition humans were using. Suddenly, the alien vessel emitted a wave of energy that engulfed the scout pod. For a moment, all systems went dark. The crew held their breath. Then, slowly, the pod's instruments came back online, but with subtle enhancements. Clearer sensors, smoother navigation. It helped us," Kieran whispered. "It didn't attack. It improved the pod." Mira exhaled slowly. "Exactly. It's not hostile. It's testing our problem-solving, our response under pressure." She looked at her crew. "This is our strength. Humans survive by thinking, by creating, by acting. That's what they're seeing." The alien vessel pulsed again, sending waves of energy toward the Aurora. The ship itself responded. Lights brightening, corridors humming with activity. The AI offered suggestions for interpreting the signals, but always left decisions to the crew. Leona smiled. "It's like the ship and the alien vessel are working together, or at least communicating through us." Mira nodded. "Then we continue. Carefully, but with courage. Humans are not passive observers. We act, we learn, we adapt." Over the next few hours, the crew experimented with different approaches. They maneuvered the scout pod, sent energy pulses in response to the alien patterns, and adjusted the ship's systems to match subtle fluctuations in the unknown vessel's signals. Every attempt revealed new behaviors, new responses. The alien vessel was not static. It adapted, just like humans did. In one remarkable moment, the pod encountered a minor obstacle, a stray fragment of space debris that could have damaged it. Rhina quickly calculated a new trajectory, using a combination of intuition and observation. The pod slid past the debris perfectly. The alien vessel pulsed brightly, sending waves of energy that resonated throughout the Aurora. The crew felt it like a silent applause, a recognition of ingenuity and quick thinking. "It understands," Kieran said softly. "It recognizes human creativity, our ability to solve problems in real time." Mira's heart swelled. Humans had always been underestimated. By machines, by environments, even by other humans. Yet here, in the vast emptiness of space, they were proving themselves once again. As the alien vessel moved slightly closer, Leona studied the energy readings. "Captain, it's more than just observation now. It's learning from us. From our choices, our improvisations. It's seeing patterns in human thought." Mira's voice was steady, but inside, excitement and awe churned. "Then we continue. Let's show it that humans are not just capable of survival, but of innovation, courage, and intelligence." The crew resumed their work with renewed energy. Engineers fine-tuned the Aurora's systems to respond faster. Scientists predicted energy pulse patterns, and the entire ship functioned like a single organism, guided by human intuition. Night, or the concept of night in deep space, passed, and by dawn the alien vessel had moved even closer. Its surface shimmered with energy patterns that now clearly matched the humans' attempts at communication. The waves of energy were no longer random. They were structured, deliberate, almost conversational. Mira stood at the observation deck, feeling the weight of the moment. "They are curious about us, yes," she said softly, "but more than that. They are learning from us, our actions, our choices, our ability to adapt. That is something no machine or AI can replicate fully. That is humanity." Kieran leaned on the railing beside her. "And the ship itself. It's responding too. Helping, guiding, but never controlling. It wants us to succeed on our own, to prove ourselves." Leona nodded. "This is unprecedented. Humans are being evaluated by both the ship and the alien vessel. It's testing not just our skills, but our creativity, our intuition, our ability to act under uncertainty." Mira's eyes glinted with determination. "Then we don't just survive, we thrive. We show them that humans are unique, adaptable, and capable of extraordinary things." As the hours passed, the crew continued to interact with the alien vessel, learning and improvising, solving technical challenges, and responding to the energy pulses. Each success brought subtle changes. The alien vessel's energy shimmered brighter, the Aurora's systems became more efficient, and the ship itself seemed almost alive with approval. Finally, Mira addressed the crew. "Remember this. No matter what comes next, humans are not passive. We face challenges, we adapt, and we find solutions. That is our strength. That is what they are seeing. That is what makes us special." The alien vessel lingered just beyond the Aurora's sensors, its energy pulses gentle, curious, and encouraging. The shadows in the ship's corridors no longer seemed threatening. They were reminders that the journey was just beginning, that the unknown was a challenge to be faced with courage and ingenuity. Mira watched the distant stars, thinking about the vastness of space and the unexpected tests humanity could face. Humans had always been underestimated, yet time and again, they had proven their resilience, creativity, and intelligence. Now, in the silent void with a living ship and a curious alien vessel, those same qualities were being observed once again. And Mira knew with certainty that humans would rise to the challenge. The scout pod returned, carrying data, energy readings, and a sense of triumph. The alien vessel pulsed one final time, and the Aurora's lights brightened in unison, as if applauding the humans' ingenuity. For the first time since waking, the crew felt truly connected, not just to their ship, but to the unknown, to the challenge, and to each other. Humans were explorers, problem solvers, and creators, and the universe had taken notice. The journey was far from over, but for now, humans had proven themselves in a way no machine, AI, or alien had ever expected. The alien vessel lingered near the Aurora, its smooth, shimmering surface radiating faint pulses of light. The crew could feel the presence of intelligence, watching, learning, and, in its own way, testing them. The ship's own systems hummed with renewed energy, responding to the humans' actions, but never taking control. It was as if the Aurora itself wanted them to prove their worth. Captain Mira Elaine stood in the observation deck, her eyes on the distant alien vessel. "This is our chance," she said softly. "We're being observed, yes, but we're also being tested, and humans thrive on challenges." Lieutenant Kiran Saeed adjusted the sensors, monitoring the alien energy pulses. "It's like a puzzle," he said. "Every action we take, every decision is being recorded and evaluated." Dr. Leona Hayes studied the patterns on the screens, her brow furrowed. "And these aren't simple signals. They're complex. The vessel is responding to not just what we do, but how we think. It's testing creativity, problem-solving, and even moral choices." Mira nodded. "Then we approach this the only way humans can. Carefully, thoughtfully, but boldly. Let's show them what humans are capable of." The first test came unexpectedly. A portion of the Aurora's systems began to behave erratically. Lights flickered, engines slowed, and navigation controls became unresponsive. On the sensor array, a new set of signals appeared, sharp, patterned pulses that seemed almost like a question. "How do you respond under pressure?" Kiran ran to the main console. "Systems are failing in sections, but nothing is permanently damaged. It's like the ship is challenging us." Mira's voice was calm, even as adrenaline surged through her. "Then we fix it. Use what we know, think creatively, and act quickly. That's what humans do." The crew divided into teams. Engineers worked on rerouting power, using unconventional methods to bypass the affected circuits. Leona and her science team analyzed the signals, trying to predict the next sequence of challenges. The Aurora's AI offered suggestions, but always left the final decision to humans. Hours passed, filled with tension and determination. Sparks flew from the maintenance panels, sensors beeped, and corridors hummed with energy. Every solution the crew applied caused the ship's systems to stabilize further, revealing that the challenges were not meant to harm, but to test ingenuity. At one point, a critical problem arose. A section of the ship's life support system began to shut down due to a cascading power failure. Engineers quickly realized that conventional repairs would take too long. Kiran suggested a risky approach, rerouting power through a non-standard conduit and using a combination of manual controls and AI assistance to stabilize the system. Mira considered the options. "It's risky," she said, "but humans succeed when they take calculated risks with creativity and logic. Do it." The team worked as one, improvising, adjusting, and adapting. The conduits were rerouted, circuits bridged, and within minutes, the life support system stabilized. The ship pulsed with energy, as if acknowledging the crew's ingenuity. Leona checked the sensors again. "The alien vessel. It's reacting. The pulses are brighter, more structured. It recognizes our solutions." Kiran smiled, relief flooding him. "We're making progress. They're not just observing. They're learning from us, too." The challenges continued. The alien vessel created situations that required the crew to think ethically as well as logically. In one scenario, an automated system simulated a minor failure that could endanger a crew member. The choice was theirs: risk one person to save the ship or find a solution that protected everyone. Mira gathered the crew. "Humans don't just act logically. We consider each other. We care. Let's find a solution that keeps everyone safe." Working together, the crew devised a method to stabilize the failing system without putting anyone in harm's way. It required coordination, quick thinking, and trust. When they succeeded, the ship responded with a pulse of light and energy that resonated through the hull, a silent applause for their ingenuity and compassion. Hours turned into a full day. The Aurora's corridors pulsed with energy, systems stabilized, and the alien vessel hovered near, its surface shimmering with recognition. The humans had passed one test, then another and another, each one revealing more about their creativity, intelligence, and teamwork. Mira addressed her crew, pride evident in her voice. "We are being tested, yes, but humans have always thrived in the unknown. From our first explorers on Earth to this moment, we succeed because we adapt, create, and work together. That is what makes us human. That is what they are seeing." The alien vessel pulsed again, and this time, the signals were different. They weren't challenges, they were invitations. Energy waves extended toward the Aurora, almost like hands reaching out in curiosity. The ship itself seemed to respond, guiding the humans to interact with the vessel in a new way. Leona studied the readings. "Captain, it's a form of communication. They want to see how we respond to cooperation, not just challenges." Mira nodded. "Then we act. Humans are not just problem solvers, we are collaborators. Let's show them how we work together and how we learn from the unknown." The crew coordinated carefully. They synchronized the Aurora's systems with the alien vessel's energy pulses, creating patterns that matched the vessel's signals. Every adjustment, every careful action, caused the pulses to shimmer brighter, almost like the vessel was smiling, or its version of recognition. Kieran grinned. "We're not just surviving, we're interacting. They're learning from us, and we're learning from them. This is incredible." Mira placed a hand on the railing, watching the alien vessel. "Humans thrive because we are adaptable. We learn from every challenge, every unknown. We care, we create, and we act. That is what makes us unique. That is what they are seeing." As the day continued, the alien vessel initiated a final test. It projected a complex energy pattern that simulated multiple scenarios simultaneously: navigation challenges, system failures, and unexpected ethical dilemmas. The crew had to respond quickly, make decisions, and innovate solutions, all at once. The ship's corridors pulsed with activity, systems hummed, and every crew member worked tirelessly. Kieran rerouted power in real time, engineers patched critical failures, and Leona predicted signal sequences to anticipate the vessel's responses. Mira coordinated the teams, her calm voice guiding them. "Focus, think creatively, and act with purpose. We have faced the impossible before, and we will do it again. Humans do not fail in the face of the unknown." One by one, the scenarios were solved. The life support stabilized, navigation corrected itself, and the ethical challenges were handled with care and compassion. The alien vessel's energy pulses shimmered brightly, almost like applause. The ship itself seemed to vibrate with pride and recognition. Finally, after hours of intense effort, the Aurora stabilized completely. Systems were fully operational, energy pulses synchronized with the alien vessel, and every crew member stood, exhausted but triumphant. Leona smiled. "They recognize us, the ship, the alien vessel. They understand that humans are more than machines. We create, we adapt, we care, and we act." Kieran nodded, eyes wide. "We've proven ourselves. In the eyes of the unknown, humans are remarkable." Mira exhaled, a mixture of relief and pride washing over her. "Yes, humans are remarkable, and this is only the beginning. Whatever challenges come next, whatever unknowns lie ahead, we will face them, together, and we will thrive." The alien vessel pulsed one final time, then slowly moved back, maintaining a respectful distance. The Aurora's lights glowed warmly, corridors alive with energy and hums of systems fully operational. The crew gathered in the observation deck, looking at the stars beyond, knowing they had faced something extraordinary, and survived. The shadows in the ship no longer seemed threatening. They were reminders of the unknown, yes, but also of the strength, courage, and ingenuity that humans carried within them. The Aurora had tested them, the alien vessel had tested them, and humans had proven that they could rise to the occasion. Mira turned to her crew, voice steady but full of emotion. Remember this moment. Humans survive, adapt, and thrive. No matter what the universe throws at us, no matter how strange, unknown, or impossible it seems, we face it. That is our nature. That is our strength. That is humanity. The crew nodded, their spirits high, hearts filled with determination, and minds racing with possibilities. The universe was vast and mysterious, but humans had shown once again that they were capable of extraordinary things. And in the silent space around them, the Aurora hummed, the alien vessel shimmered, and the stars awaited the next chapter of humanity's journey. The Aurora floated through the blackness of space, its lights steady and bright. The alien vessel, which had tested and observed them for so long, hovered nearby one last time. Its shimmering surface pulsed with soft energy, sending waves across the Aurora's hull, as if acknowledging the human's success. Captain Mira Elan stood at the observation deck, watching the strange ship. Her crew gathered behind her, tired but proud. They had passed every test, every challenge, and every puzzle the universe, or the alien intelligence, had thrown at them. They had survived because of ingenuity, courage, and the uniquely human ability to adapt. Lieutenant Kiran Saeed's eyes reflected the faint shimmer of the alien vessel. They recognize us, don't they? He said softly. Mira nodded. Yes. Recognition, respect, maybe even something like trust. Humans have always been underestimated, and yet, here we are, alive, successful, proving that our kind is capable of more than any machine or calculation could predict. Dr. Leona Hayes leaned on the railing, looking at the alien vessel. It's almost like a teacher, not an enemy. It wanted to see if we could think, adapt, and work together. And we did. Mira's lips curved in a small smile. We've shown them who humans are, not just survivors, but creators, thinkers, and collaborators. That is humanity's greatest strength. For several hours, the alien vessel remained near the Aurora, sending gentle energy pulses. The ship itself seemed to hum in harmony, systems glowing warmly, corridors alive with light. It was as if the entire vessel celebrated their success. Finally, the alien ship shifted slightly, its shimmering surface reflecting the distant stars. It sent a sequence of pulses, longer and more deliberate than before. The crew watched in silence as the pattern unfolded, and slowly Leona began to interpret it. It's a message, she said, awe in her voice. Not in words, but in meaning. It says, your kind is rare. Survive, adapt, and thrive. Mira's heart swelled. That is extraordinary. Humans have faced challenges before, from planets to oceans. But now the universe itself has acknowledged our ingenuity. We've been tested, and we've succeeded. Kiran let out a soft laugh, relief and pride mixing in his voice. And the ship, it helped, but never took control. It let us prove ourselves. That's very human. We are independent, but collaborative. We think, we feel, and we act. Mira turned to the crew. Every system we repaired, every puzzle we solved, every decision we made, that was all us. No AI, no machine, no other intelligence could replicate it, and now they know it too. The alien vessel pulsed one last time, then slowly drifted away. Its energy shimmered softly, fading into the darkness of space. The crew watched, a sense of wonder filling them. They had survived, adapted, and thrived in a situation no human had ever faced before. The Aurora hummed quietly, its systems fully operational, the lights steady, corridors alive with soft energy. Mira turned to her crew, her voice strong and filled with pride. Remember this moment. The universe is vast and full of unknowns. But humans are not passive. We explore, we create, and we adapt. We survive not because the path is easy, but because we are clever, determined, and courageous. And that is why we thrive. The crew nodded, their hearts full of hope and inspiration. Each member knew that this journey had changed them forever. They had faced the unknown, and they had succeeded. Kieran walked over to a console, checking navigation. We can set a course back to human space, but I don't think we'll ever see space the same way again. Mira smiled. No, we won't. We've learned something important, not just about the universe, but about ourselves. Humans are stronger, smarter, and more adaptable than we often realize. And now, the universe has acknowledged it too. Leona added, and think of what this means for future explorers. Humans are not alone in their curiosity. There are intelligences out there, testing, observing, and learning, and we've shown that we can rise to meet them. The Aurora began its journey home. The familiar stars of human space appeared in the distance, faint but comforting. Systems hummed smoothly, and the ship glowed with life and energy. Every flicker of light in the corridors, every soft hum of machinery was a reminder of the humans' ingenuity and teamwork. Mira walked through the ship, stopping at each team. She placed a hand on Kieran's shoulder. Your quick thinking saved the life support. You adapted when others would have panicked. That is human strength. She smiled at Leona. Your understanding of the signals, your ability to predict and respond, that is human creativity. You've proven that intelligence is not just knowledge, but action. She turned to the rest of the crew. Every one of you worked together, collaborated, and proved that humans are more than the sum of their parts. We have survived the impossible, and we have thrived because we trusted ourselves and each other. The hours passed quietly, the ship gliding through space. Outside, stars twinkled like distant promises. Mira looked out of the observation window, thinking about the alien vessel, the challenges they had faced, and the lessons they had learned. Humans were explorers, humans were problem solvers, humans were creators, and in the vast, silent universe, they had shown that no test, no unknown, could defeat them. The ship's lights flickered slightly, a soft pulse that reminded Mira of the very first moment the Aurora had come to life. The crew had awakened to silence, fear, and uncertainty. Now they traveled through space with confidence, skill, and hope. Kieran chuckled softly. You know, Captain, I think the stars look brighter now. Maybe it's just me, or maybe the universe is noticing us. Mira smiled. It is noticing us. Humans are remarkable, Kieran. Always have been. And out there beyond the stars, the universe has learned it too. Leona nodded. And now it's our responsibility to explore, to learn, to help others understand the value of curiosity, courage, and intelligence. That is our gift as humans. Mira stood at the observation deck one last time. Yes, and as we return home, we carry that gift with us. We have proven that humans can face the unknown, solve the impossible, and thrive, and the universe has seen it. The Aurora glided smoothly, its lights steady and bright, corridors alive with quiet energy. Every system functioned perfectly. Every crew member felt a sense of pride, unity, and hope. They had faced the silent void, the mysterious alien presence, and the challenges of an intelligent, observing ship, and they had emerged stronger, wiser, and more confident. As human space drew closer, Mira whispered softly, "The universe is vast, and the unknown is endless. But humans will always rise to the challenge. We survive, we adapt, and we thrive. And that is our story." The stars of home appeared ahead, shimmering with familiar warmth. The aurora glowed like a beacon of hope and resilience. And for the first time in a long while, the crew felt truly at peace, knowing that humanity's light would shine brightly, no matter how vast or silent the universe might seem. The journey had begun in silence, and now it ended in light. The ship, the crew, and humanity itself had proven one simple truth. No matter how unknown the challenges, humans could face them, solve them, and thrive. And as the aurora drifted toward home, its lights steady and bright, the universe seemed to watch, waiting for the next chapter of humanity's extraordinary journey.